Good evening, race fans. I'm Pirate here with Black Flag Racing TV, and we have got an absolute fantastic one for you this evening. It is Black Flag Racing Team versus the Virtual Racers Club, the first of a 4-round race series. 2 endurance races and 2 sets of sprint races to determine who's the better team of the two. It's a bit of fun, but it's also I'm pretty much going to take it seriously. I think everyone's going to try and have a go. So round 1 is our pick, our track. We've picked the Nurnburgring GP track, which is a fabulous track, and it'll probably becoming our home track, I think. Something we race on quite a lot. We are racing for this endurance series in GR3 cars. The car that the VRC are using is the phenomenal AMG GT3. It's a brilliant race car. Actually, it's a race car we used in our last TVT against the Gentleman Drivers Sim Racing team. So we know it's a good car. We, however, have gone for the Porsche 911 RSR. Pretty much the most popular GR3 car at the moment, and a lot of people tend to pick it because it's very good. So where are we today? We're at, as I said, we're at the Nurnburgring, which is, let's bring all that details up, so bear with me. I pressed the wrong button. There, Nurnburgring. It is an asphalt surface, 3.2 miles, 15 turns. So here's a little track guide for you, so you can see what it's all about. You will note that this track guide is in the Alpha 155, which actually is a GR4 car, but that happened to be one of them. So the track built in 1984. They up until that point they only raced on the Greenhill Nordschleife. They built this as a purpose-built GP track in 1984, remodeled it in 2002. Asphalt surface, 5.1 kilometres, 3.1 miles long, 15 turns. Current track record is a 1 minute 28.1. We won't be seeing times anywhere near that. That was in the RB18 or RB19, I think that was. Max Verstappen holds that lap record. Turn 1, big braking zone into Yokohama. You've got to get the apex right. You get on the power up the hill towards turn 2. Little dab of brake for turn 2. And then you're kind of turning round into turn 3, which is more feathering than it is braking really than anything else. Turn 4, you can go really wide on turn 4, and power down to turn 5. Again, a little double brake for that. Big braking zone at turn 6, with a long straight to another big braking zone at turn 7. Then you're up through the Schumacher S, which is a very cool succession of corners. Then up the hill to 10 and 11 at the one-stop curve. Then you are flat on the power through the Ad Van Bogen, which is it's not really a turn because you are flat out right the way up to the NGK chicane, which then that's turns 13 and 14, which takes you up to turn 15, which is the final turn, and leads you down to the start finish line. So here we go. So we go big braking zone into turn 1, 50-metre board, and then you're looking to clip that apex there as best as you can. Then you're on that power up the hill, taking it wide and then cutting it in. Nice early apex, and you can drift right out, almost off the track onto the little green stuff there. And then again tight on this apex. And here, he doing thingy. I hope you're enjoying your holiday, buddy. I've had to go a little bit upmarket because I do some of the World Championships and stuff, mate, which is why it's got a little bit posh. But yeah, I hope you enjoy it. I hope your boys enjoy it. To be fair, I think they watch it more for you than they do for all the pretty colours. And to be honest, I quite miss just streaming straight from the PlayStation. It's a hell of a lot easier. But you know, we have people with expectations of me now, unfortunately. But it does take me ages to do this. By the way, just in case anyone's thinking, this wasn't me doing this lap, I don't drive this quick. This is a lap someone did for me. So don't think I've been sandbagging for the last year. I genuinely am still really slow. It's one of my favourite bits of the track. As you're coming into the final sector, you've got to pick your brake point here. You miss this, you are screwed. You can really cut that chicane much more than you think. You've got to be careful not to get a penalty, of course, but you cut that just right. Make sure you keep one wheel on the track at all times, and you're laughing. How you doing, Jan? Good evening. Hope you enjoy the race today. So there we go. That's your track guide for Nurnburgring GP. That wasn't the Alpha. We're not racing in the Alpha today, though. But that was a bit of fun. There we go. So, have we got everyone in the room? Because we're about to start calling in about 3 minutes, and I think we're still short. All the VRC guys are here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Can't count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So we've got all the VRC boys in. I think we're still missing. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So we're missing one. Where is he? Where is Stormfly? Is he hiding from us? Check Discord. He may have answered. May have not. Let me drop him a quick message. That's the message sent, so he will. I'm hoping he's going to be fashionably late, not too fashionably late, of course. It's good to have a full lobby. I love it, absolutely love it. Yeah, good luck to VRC, and yeah, posted. I think it's going to be a bit of a fun 4 races, to be fair. Really fun 4 races. Right, was that Stormfly? Yeah, here he comes finally. So everybody's in. I take it you're not streaming tonight, thingy, because you're on holiday, aren't you? Yeah, if I'd known you were away, I could have. You could have given me a string key. I could have stuck this on straight on yours as well. But oh well, we're here now. Right, so should we go and have a look at the tracks? What's occurring? Because we're going to start qualifying soon. Yeah, it might look pretty thingy, but my production skills are trash. Boom. There we go. Let's have a little looky, see who's out, what the liveries look like. Let's have a look at the liveries. So that is the VRC AMG, and I love the contrast of colours there. We'll have a good look around this. Look at that. That's actually really nice. Really impressed with that, actually. Very, very pretty car. Yeah, good. Love it, like it, Picasso. Wrong buttons again. There's one of ours, there we go. That's the 911 for Black Flag. Going to restart the lobby for quali. Always happens when I'm doing something, doesn't it? Actually, we've gone for a very similar colour scheme. With just the little accents, as you notice with our guys, the little accents are different. They've all got a slightly different accented colour on there. And don't quite know why we've given Phil pink. He's probably the least girly of all of them. But so what's the format? It's a 15-minute qualifying. You can qualify on any tyres. You have to use 2 compounds throughout the race. Any 2 of your choice, doesn't matter which. I think it's 5 and 5 fuel and tyres, if I remember rightly. So lap times, they're going to be in the mid 150s ish, anywhere between the mid 150s right up to 2 minutes. I think it really depends on the quality of the or how quick they're coming out the blocks. So let me check in just to prevent any lobby issues later. Don't quite know why I've got Ford GT on at the moment. I do know why I've got Ford GT on this because I did delivery for it earlier. Let's not bother with that. Right, let's go to track. Everyone's having a little. Yeah, so quali starts in 4 minutes' time. This really is a sort of fight, just to make sure everybody's connected. No one's having any lag issues or anything along those lines. That's really the purpose of this 5 minutes. It's a chance to run a couple of laps just to make sure you've got everything you need, and then quali will start essentially. It'll be a quick reset. I suppose we've got a couple of minutes to talk about what's coming up on Black Flag TV. Anyone that watched yesterday, and thank you if you did, it was our first foray into F1 2022. And you might notice in the first race, I didn't have a clue what I was doing with the controls, despite knowing what all the controls did, because I have actually played the game before. But it was a bit of a nightmare getting used to all the different camera angles and all the different telemetry and the information available. A lot more information available on F1 2022. But it was an awesome 4 races for our new partners, the Late Night Racing team. They start it's season 6 coming up, which starts next Tuesday. Yesterday was just a sort of warm-up event, and I'll tell you what, there's a couple of really, really quick guys racing there. But that will be next Tuesday and every Tuesday thereafter. Second round of this team versus team will be next Wednesday. But this week, so tomorrow, we've got Team Showdown, the Amigos Racing Team Showdown Tier 1 event. 4 teams, and it's as the name would suggest, it's a team-based event. Every team has 3 drivers. There are 4 teams on track. The performance of those 3 drivers is all that matters. Of course, there is a bonus point if you win the race, but it's down to how many overtakes your team make overall, rather than just individual performance. Of course, individual performance matters, but not in the scheme of things as it comes to points. So what you need to be doing is working with your teammates to get yourselves up the racetrack. It wasn't on last week because it was Fusion Week. I did it the week before. That was really, really cool. And so that's tomorrow night. I've got a little surprise for you Friday night. I'm not going to announce it yet. There will be a little teaser after the ART race tomorrow about Friday night. Saturday we are back to Super Formula Series. Missed it last week because of Fusion, but we are back to it here at Black Flag. And then Sunday we're on to round 7 of the Lithuanian National GR3 Championship. I can't believe we're already at round 7. It's been an awesome 6 weeks so far, but we've still got loads of racing to go. How you doing, Gary? Shame you couldn't be with us tonight. I'm not sure you can jump back in the car next time out if you're not working next week, buddy. So we've got that on Sunday. Then Monday we are back with GR4 Lottery. We are bang on it for that. That's for anyone that hasn't seen it before. I basically stuck 15 cars on a roulette wheel, and the first 15 people that wanted to enter got a spin, and they got a car, and that was the car they were stuck with for certainly the first half of the tournament. Round 5, anyone really unhappy with their car got to bid it, and got to bid it and then put get a new car off the wheel. Only a couple of people chose to do that, and already it's paying dividends. If not for speed for Wiggy, certainly for entertainment for everybody else, because he ended up with a Suzuki Swift and now drives it with a nice little kiddie car livery thingy. One of those, I can't remember what they're called, those little Tony cars, the red and yellow things. But it looks awesome. Right, so qualifying is underway. I expect to see absolutely, let's have some fun. Let's go for this, man. Good luck out there, James. I'm expected to see what 154s, 155s for pole position, something along those lines. Is there a 153 in it? Not sure we can get a squeeze of 153 out. Race pace will be a little bit slower than that, I would have thought, but then stranger things have happened. So who's first out? Coy Carper's decided to go out first, so let's do it on board with him as he starts his hot lap. I do love the interior of that AMG. It's really, really cool. Look at that. Is he going to be hampered by his teammate in front of him, who looks like he's just on an outlap? So, Coy Karp comes round. I don't know why is Orvar joining the room. He can't join in. Someone's going to have to remove him from the room. Should I send him a quick message? Yeah, let me do that now. I'll talk amongst yourselves while I do this. I don't know why he doesn't join. He jumps in so many of our rooms left. He jumps in so many of our rooms and gets involved with racing, but he never comes on comms. We do know him. He's not some random stranger who just sort of latched onto us. We do know him from BCGT. So he does come to racing for us every now and again, but he doesn't really talk to us. We haven't joined the Discord chat. How you doing, Anthony? Good to see you, man. How is it in sunny America today? The land of political intrigue. So, pole position so far for Big Dan, 1:57.6. That's not too shabby for a first lap out. Coy Karp with a 1:58.7. That will put him firmly alongside Big Dan. Phil with a 2 minutes dead. Racer Brown with a 2:22.3. Homesick, I'm sure it's Homesick Alien. Homesick is 2:24.2. I'm sure that's a lap you'll want to forget. Skyjacker just setting 1:56.7. That's a good solid time for him. While Racer Brown puts in a 56.5. The times are starting to tumble now. Where are our guys? Phil at the minute is the fastest of ours out there. PM10 Racing. He is on his hot lap now. As he's just come ready to finish, and he sets the tone with a 1:55.6. Now, what we're looking for, you have some of that London rain. Good, because it's not raining here today, so I'm quite pleased about that. Sorry, bear with me. Someone keeps setting a fucking alarm on the Alexa unnecessarily. Sorry about that. Yeah, someone set an alarm on the Alexa and it makes my mic go funny. Right, so Kevin sets an even faster lap. I was about to say, can anyone go sub 55? And then I come back and it's been done. 1:54.5 from Kevin 77. That's a really quick lap from him, actually. Kevin is ridiculously fast. We do have to check. When Kevin logs in, he's so quick. He has to check that little box to say, I'm not a robot. So at the moment, the front of the grid is Kevin, PM10 Racing. Row 2, Racer Brown and Skyjacker. Row 3 is Avalon Shadow with a 56.8. Alongside him is Big Dan of VRC. Then on row 4, we've got Yellow Sausages with a 57.1. And he's got Noxie for company with a 57.2. Very, very close. Coy Karp, 58.0 on row 5, alongside Barry with a 58.7. Homesick with a 59.3. With Phil alongside him with a 59.5. Good lap for Phil, actually. Wiggy with a 2:05. That's well off the normal pace of Wiggy. I'm sure we'll see him putting in a better lap than that at some point. Stormfly still to set a lap. We know this boy can race. Late to the party, but let's see if he can put the time in. And of course, me not in a car. But I have to check in because it makes the lobby better. There is that dreaded pit lane penalty. It's an absolute killer, but it's fun to put on because it can it can fuck up someone's race, and it's great for the streams when someone's race gets screwed up. Just talking of getting screwed up, actually, with the F1 streaming I did yesterday, the coolest thing is watching someone's car get smashed to smithereens. and then a safety car coming out, which is always fun. Especially when someone's built up a nice 20-second lead and then the safety car whittles it down to nothing and then they lose the lead, as happened yesterday. So there we go. There is Kevin, currently running 1.4 seconds quicker than anybody else, a 54.2. I think everyone's qualifying on the softs. They can use any tyre they wish as long as they use 2 compounds. I can't imagine anyone is going to start the race on the soft compound tyre. Doesn't last very long here. I think mediums is probably going to be the order of the day for starting. Might be a couple of people starting on hards if they feel they can get the performance out of it. But since the update, the tyre model's changed a little bit. Yeah, they're grippier for longer, but the hards just don't. They used to be a viable race tyre. Not so much anymore. As we see, PM10 decides to take his Porsche and put it into a wall. Good job there, Paul. Get the car back on the track and start again, my friend. He's currently sitting on the front row, though, with Kevin 77. Any other improvement? Stormfly puts himself on row 2 with a 55.5. So only one man sub 155 at the moment, and that's Kevin 77. Racer Brown, the quickest from VRC. He's done a 55.9. Has he got anything else in the tank just to up it a little bit? In terms of choice of cars, you know, there are what, 31, 32 different GR3 cars on this game from all over the world, and we've both gone German. German cars, German track. I should probably be doing this stream in German. So from now on, I will be. I can't speak German, really. I really can't speak German. I could have been very, very offensive to Avalon then and pretended to be German. Avalon, although it says he's Spanish, he's not. He's German, but he lives in Spain, in Barcelona, in fact. So where is everyone from? VRC, very British affair. Apart from Barry. Barry is from Belgium. It will, Jason, and good evening to you. I hope you're having a fun time at work, if there's such a thing. I think it will be a good race. I think it's going to be interesting because the AMG is a good car. It's a very, very good car. Remember, because we picked it for our last TVT. Remember, I just got outvoted this time. I picked the AMG last time because I liked it, but everyone outvoted me this time and picked the Porsche. But yeah, I think it's going to be interesting. I think it's certainly going to be about who can look after their tyres and feel the best, and then do something special in the last kind of knock-ins. So we're probably a couple of minutes from the end of qualifying, and I'm sure the 1 minute warning will be popping up anytime soon. But at the moment, this is where we stand. The front row is Kevin 77 with a 54.2, with Stormfly for company. Stormfly with a 55.0, still not gone sub 55, using Avalon Shadow as a bit of a tow along there. Row 2 is Avalon Shadow, 55.3, with PM10 Racing 4 company with a 55.4. Then on row 3, it's Racer Brown with a 55.9. Holding the torch at the moment for VRC, with Wiggy just behind him with a 56.0. Noxie with a 56.3 is on row 4 alongside his teammate Skyjacker with a 56.6. Big Dan and Yellow Sausages on row 5. Big Dan with a 56.9. Yellow Sausages with a 56.9 also. There is 200th of a second between those two. Then on row 6 we've got Koi Carp alongside Barry's Koi Carp with a 57.3 alongside Barry from Belgium. With a 57.5, and at the very back of the pack there is Phil with I can't see his time, but he's 5 seconds off the leaders, and yeah, so well done for Phil jumping into the car. I'm sure it's going to be awesome. So I'm expecting to see the 1 minute warning. Haven't seen it yet, but I'm sure it'll pop up any time now. It may have popped up and I just missed it, to be fair. That's usually what happens. It's usually what happens. So we've got a 6 minute race, 5 times on the fuel, 5 times on the tyres. 2 compounds must be used. It's a grid start with a full start check. The key here is going to be managing your stints, trying to get as much longevity out of the tyres and the fuel as you can. The softs do carve up very, very quickly here. Yeah, I mean, you can look, the difference in the tyre model now means you can take the tyres until they are fully red, but then they just drop off a cliff. There's no, it's almost though they come to you, you get a bit of red, then they come into you, and then they stay with you, and then they stay, and then they just drop off a cliff. It doesn't seem to be much gradual drop off. A little bit, but not significantly. And that is a 1:53.7 from Kevin. Where the hell did he pull that lap from? That is utterly ridiculous. I don't think I've ever seen him go that quick. That is the most ridiculous thing I've ever seen in my entire life. Big Dan does a big jump, and he's up to row 2 with a 1:55.3. Surely now we are 16 minutes into a 15-minute qualifying. Is the host ever going to start this race? Surely we've got to start now. What is occurring, man? Trying to see if anyone's put in anything really quick since then. 55.7 for Knox. He's improved his time. Racer Brown not been able to improve his 55.9. Wiggy 56.0 did a 2:09 last lap. That was but he did go to pits. That was why. Why are we not? I don't understand why we're not starting. What has happened to Avalon? He's the host. Has he not been looking at the time? Clearly not, because let me drop him a quick message. Talk about yourself, people, while I sort this out. So, yeah, qualifying is dragging a little bit at the moment. I don't know why it's dragging beyond the 15 minutes. There must be a reason for it. I can't see what that reason might be, but there must be a reason for it. I don't know whether there's an issue in the lobby or something like that. I certainly can't see any issue that would be causing this to happen. Let me have a quick look. We're not having any problems with anyone in. Everyone's in. Everyone's ready to go. So, yeah. Yeah, so no reason why we shouldn't be starting. Nice. Should I do names or nicknames? Driver names. Let's do nicknames. So no change at the moment. There we got. I don't know what's going on with it. It's showing it as healthy on my screen here. What's the problem, Dan? Is it picture, sound? What's the big issue? Yeah, some feedback would be good, because I'm looking at my stream health and I'm getting a very positive big green bar. So if there is something wrong, please let me know what that problem is. Right, now we are now 20 minutes in. Yeah, good luck everyone. We should be starting now. Absolutely should be starting. Yeah, I couldn't tell you. To be fair, there's been a number of issues with GT7 lobbies. Since about Friday, there's been a problem with the lobbies and a few issues with it and a few lag problems. We have worked out ways to counteract it. Mostly, it's down to clearing out your cache, making sure you are hardwired. But the problem seems to stem. The problem seems to stem from the crossplay aspect. In that, with the someone's disappeared. We've lost someone. Yeah, the issue seems to stem from crossplay, in that the game was developed for PS5, and then with the issue with COVID and everything changing, Sony. Yeah, do you see that, Patrick? Yeah. Yeah, I think it's going to be interesting. So I say the issues with the servers to do with crossplay. So when they developed the game for PS5, it was only supposed to be a PlayStation 5 title, not a backwards compatible title. But with the issues of getting consoles out and then shortage and then COVID and all the other bullshit, Sony needed, and then Sony obviously had a few games, big games they had in development didn't pan out. So they needed a big seller. And Gran Turismo 7 was the only thing they had that was relatively ready. So they hurried a backwards compatibility for it, which has led to some of the lobbies having problems. I don't know what the answer is. I mean, the answer is employ better people, get better servers, or just ditch crossplay altogether and do it separately. I realise that means that some people are going to be stuck not being able to race, but you know. I don't know what the answer is otherwise. But that's where the situation's been coming from. It also seems to be that if you have someone hosting that is in the United States and everybody else is in Europe, that causes a problem as well with lag. But here we shouldn't have an issue. Our host is in Central Europe, in Spain. To be fair, we probably should have had a host in Great Britain, bearing in mind how many people are in this country, but we haven't. And we're just waiting for the return of Big Dan. Don't know where he's gone, but he is returning shortly. About that. My one of my children ordered some food, and it was just coming past me. It smells quite nice, actually. We should have ordered some now, especially if we're going to be waiting around for maybe that's where Dan's gone. He's going to get something to eat. In that case, let me have some of my refreshing drink in the meantime. Yeah, so it is a big German battle today. It is Porsche versus Mercedes. Ironically, somewhat, that Avalon actually works for Mercedes but prefers driving a Porsche. And I wonder if his bosses know that. That's a pretty cool shot, isn't it? Let me let me display off and get a picture. It was better when he was further back. I could get all the cars in then. Come on, Big Dan, where are you, dude? Oh, there's always one, isn't there? Oh, that's a good shot. Yeah, so yeah, I apologise for the delay, guys. We are waiting for Big Dan from VRC to return. Hence the waiting around. Oh, I love the colours. Shame I can't zoom into that shot. Oh, look, VRC straight in front of the smaller photo. I need to be able to get... Oh, do you know what? If they stay there and I can get... Yeah, I need them all to stay there. And then what I need to do is find the VRC guy that's going to drive past them. Keep going that way, Noxie. Keep going that way so you can get me a shot, mate. Go closer. Noxie, Noxie, Noxie. Closer, closer, closer. Oh, man. As we are still waiting for Big Dan, I'm going to go and have a... I might go and have a smoke. Yeah, I'm going to do that. Talk amongst yourselves. Did you miss me? I am back. Let me see if I can get a good shot of them actually. Look at that. I just need to get the right angle here. Did you miss me? Yeah, good shot for them and all. Right, so he is loaded up. He is back in the room, or will be shortly, so we can go ahead. That's such a pain when that happens, isn't it? But it is what it is. this is the wonderful thing about sim racing. It's the you're relying on the equipment of a room full of people, all in different parts of the world, to all work properly at the same time. And sometimes we have problems. So predictions. Well, it's going to be. I think it's going to be tight. We've got some really fast guys out in front, certainly for Black Flag, but there's no slouches in VRC, and they've got the racecraft. So I think that's going to be telling. Is can they? Here we go. Here he is. He's here. Big Dan's back in the room. We will be ready to start very, very soon. I wonder if his disconnection will affect his qualifying position. It probably will, but I suppose them's the brakes. We can't start qualifying again. That would be ridiculous. We've all got to go to bed at some stage today. But yeah, I mean, in terms of racecraft, we don't know what strategies people are running. They may be very, very good on fuel. Haven't driven the AMG for a while. Certainly since the update, we haven't spent much time in the AMG. So it could be that the tyres and the fuel do a much, much better job, and we find ourselves with a race on our hands, which is going to be one on strategy. So once the race starts, we'll see what everybody will be rocking. There he is. He's in the pit. So, what tyres is everyone on? Everyone's currently got softs on. Oh, actually, no, they haven't. Avalon's got mediums on. Kevin's got mediums on. PM10 Racing with mediums. Phil with mediums. Wiggy with softs. Phil with mediums. Stormfly with mediums. Lighting those real ones up, actually. So I think we can now get cracking, I think. Yeah, so it is. It was Kevin, Stormfly, Paul. Kevin, Stormfly, PM10, and then I think. Don't hold me to this, but I think it was. I'm going to say Racer Brown. I can't remember. I think it might have been Racer Brown. I could be wrong. It could. Or was it Barry? Oh, I can't remember. There's no point trying. Okay, so there's no reason why we can't start now. So here we finally, here we go. Everyone in, everyone ready to go. Let's have it. So it was Racer Brown. I was right the first time. So Kevin from Stormfly from Racer Brown actually in third. Avalon fourth. Big Dan fifth. PM10 sixth. Homesick in seventh. Noxie eighth. Wiggy ninth. Skyjack in 10th. We've got to do this quickly, otherwise I can't get the view. And then we are away. Kevin away in the lead. Looks to have held any charge from behind off. Racer Brown very, very quick off the line though. And he's going to try and make a move round the outside on Kevin. Doesn't make it. But Kevin goes very, very deep into turn one. Stormfly trying to retake second position. He's round the outside. Can he make the move stick? Racer Brown with that inside line, but just tucks in behind Stormfly. Homesick has made a move right up into fourth place. So big, big moves from VRC. We've got Kevin out in the lead for Black Flag. Stormfly in second. Racer Brown up to third place. Homesick up to fourth. Noxie up to fifth. And Big Dan, after his little foray into the disconnection hell, up into sixth place with Barry in seventh. Koi Carp in eighth. And then we've got Yellow Sausages, Avalon, PM10, Skyjacker, Phil and Wiggy at the very, very back of the pack. So a lot of changes straight from straight from the what's the word I'm looking for? Straight from the start. I forgot the name of the word. Straight from the start, we've had a lot of changes. But at the moment, we've got Kevin 77 in the lead. He is just half a second, just under half a second clear of Stormfly VR 46. He is 4/10 ahead of Racer Brown. Racer Brown very, very quick off the line. Very nearly taking first place from Kevin. Luckily, Stormfly was able to hang it around the inside and keep that position. Homesick running in fourth. He's made some moves. Look at that. At the moment, VRC running third, fourth, fifth, sixth, and third, fourth, fifth, sixth, seventh, and eighth in this race. That is some performance from them jumping up the order. And then we've got Yellow Sausages running in 9th. He's on the medium tyres. It looks actually that most of, in fact, all of VRC have opted to go for the racing soft tyres to start. Other than Homesick. Homesick's on the mediums. So they are splitting their strategy. Because you think I'd taken some crack today with the way I'm fumbling over my words. Just for the record, I haven't been taking crack today. It was glue. Big Dan, he is in 6th place. He's on the soft tyres. Had a disconnection as well. We started a little bit later, but we are now underway here at the Nurnburgring GP. There is Barry running in 7th on the soft tyres. Everyone's still very much bunched up. Koi Kart running in 8th, also on the softs. Yellow Sausages 1.4 seconds back. A little bit of a gap building there. He's running on those medium tyres. Avalon Shadow, he's got Skyjacker trying to make a move on him. Skyjacker is side by side. He makes the move as they go into this right-hander. And Skyjacker moves up a place into 10th ahead of Avalon Shadow. Skyjacker running the soft tyres. He will be a little bit quicker out of the corners. So Avalon currently running in 11th place. He is just ahead of PM10 Racing. PM10 Racing is only 3 seconds ahead of Phil and Wiggy. Now he's picked up a penalty as Phil, as Wiggy had a crash because he's way down there. It looks to me that he had a very bad first lap with a 206. If you compare that to Kevin's 158, so bad start from Wiggy. Can he drag himself back into this? He is gone. Pass me on to your dealer. Absolutely not. He keeps me in my glue, Gary. I'm not sharing my glue stick dealer. He hooks me up with all the best Pritt sticks. Wiggy currently running in last place, 2.2 seconds back on those soft tyres, so he's got some work to do to get the car up the order. Does that mess with his strategy? I certainly think it might do. Currently fastest lap is with Racer Brown with a 1:56.5. He is running in 3rd place at the moment. Kevin, half a second up from Stormfly, who is himself half a second up from the fastest man on the track at the moment, Racer Brown. Racer Brown with the fastest lap, 1:56.5, which he did on lap number 2. We're currently on lap 3. This is a 60-minute race, so we're looking at about somewhere around 30 laps today with pit stops, etc. Now, how long? I like to try and guess how long everyone can stay on the lead lap. I imagine that all of these guys will probably stay on the lead lap. I can't imagine there'll be much. There'll be many people lapped today. Homesick is running in 4th place, 1.2 seconds behind his teammate Racer Brown. He's on the medium tyre, so he will be giving up a little bit of pace in these early days, but he will drag it out a bit longer. So pit windows. We know that those soft tyres, look, the soft tyres on the 911 will do 5, 6, 7, maybe. I think if you're pushing 7 laps, realistically, maybe 8 if you're lucky. Not sure with the AMG. I mean, we're on lap 3 already. It's already starting to show signs of wear on lap 3. Maybe they can drag it out to lap 8 or 9. I mean, if you can do that, then you can make these softs work. Medium tyres. The pit window for the mediums is nowhere near that. It's going to be somewhere around lap 10, lap 11 before they're going to start. I think it's the fuel is going to give out before the tyres do on those mediums. So if we look at fuel usage, Kevin, 3/4 of a tank left. Is doing very well with looking after the fuel so far at these early stages. As Kevin and Stormfly just edging away from Racer Brown, but only just. And see how Kevin and Stormfly take very different lines through there, and then follow the same line through this section here. Interesting. How wide are they going to go coming out of here? Not very wide at all. You can actually take that much wider, and actually Racer Brown does. Take that right out there wider. So we've got Noxie, Big Dan in 6th. Is Noxie making a move on Homesick? He's round the outside of Homesick, up into 4th place. Big Dan with a penalty. Is he going to make a move as well? So did Homesick make a mistake which let Noxie in? But at the moment we've got VRC running all the way through the midfield. Very, very good performance from them so far. Are they playing a little block tactic? Keeping Black Flag behind them. Little wobble left from Homesick as he goes on the gravel. And Big Dan goes through and makes that pass. So Homesick dropping 2 places now, down to 6th place. Barry in 7th. He's got Skyjacker crawling all over the back of him. Skyjacker looking for a way past the Belgian. And there it goes. He is through. Relative ease as well. Is Barry going to come back at him with Koi Carp? 1.1 seconds back from that battle. Those soft tyres looking ropey. So he will be pitting, I imagine, towards the end of lap 6. Then we've got Yellow Sausages. He is 2.9 seconds back. But remember, they're running on the medium tyres. So that is going to allow them to run a little bit longer. In terms of pace very similar through the order. 58, mid-58s, mid-58s, mid-58 for PM10. A high 57 for Wiggy to make up for 2 really bad laps on lap 1 and lap 2. And Phil, just over 2 minutes each lap. So he's dropping back a little bit, is Phil. But out in front, not really putting away at the moment. Still just playing that waiting game, looking after the tyres, looking after the fuel at this stage. Very, very different uses of fuel across the 2 cars. If we look at the Porsches, for instance, they're not quite at the halfway mark. Certainly not for those 2 out in front. Then we look at Avalon. Avalon's doing really well. I mean, Avalon's the king of fuel saving. That boy will drive a car. And who's that in the wall? Was that Yellow Sausages? The Yellow Sausages facing the wrong way. He does get the car eventually turned round, but he's dropped down to last place. Puts that Porsche into a wall and has to start all over again. Unlucky for him. So way down the order. But running those medium tyres, so might bring him back into the race later as everyone in front of him pits. But was lapping with very consistent 58, 59s to be fair. But a little mistake there and it makes all the difference. But that's sometimes all it takes, one little mistake. So Kevin's still in the lead from Stormfly, half a second. The gap is still the same. They've just opened up a little bit of a gap now from Racer Brown, 1.2 seconds. Racer Brown in the AMG. And he is really pulling away from his teammates on those soft tyres. Now we're on lap 5. I think he could probably take them. Actually, I think he could take them with a bit of saving at this stage. I think lap 9 is certainly doable. It really depends how quickly they start to drop off for him now. But Big Dan already in the pits, so he's taken a lot out of his tyres, as is Barry. They've both got in very, very early. Far earlier than I expected. Racer Brown doing a much better job looking after those tyres, much smoother in terms of cornering and not putting too much stress through those tyres. And again, the key really is to not be turning the wheel too much. So getting the car slowed down properly and just flowing, no massive turns, no massive loads through the tyres, and keep the rubber there as long as possible. Noxie running in 4th place. He's got Homesick behind him. Is Homesick going to close up? Noxie made a really good move on Homesick earlier and moved up to 4th place. But they're 2.6 behind Racer Brown at the moment. Doing a much better job on the tyres though, and certainly on the fuel as well. There is Homesick. Homesick's running on the mediums. That's some good running there to be in amongst those soft tyre runners in 5th place. And the pace looking good. I mean, he's just done a 56.6 on those medium tyres, which is a phenomenally quick lap. If you bear in mind that the fastest lap of the race is a 56.3. And that's also on mediums to be fair. But is there a big wobble? He's going to lose it. He does. He just catches the gravel, loses the back end, can't get the car back under control, and hits the wall hard. So that really good work on the last lap to do a 56.6 has just gone to waste. As Avalon now trying to make a move on him. He's up the inside. Has he made the move? He has made the move. He's just ahead of Homesick. Homesick again on the grass there. Does that bring Koi Carp into the mix? Is Koi Carp going to close on Homesick? Just not enough space before the turn here. As Racer Brown jumps into the pits very early again, lap 6. Homesick into the pits. Koi Kart follows him into the pits. So everyone else staying out so far. So Kevin, half a second up from Stormfly. Stormfly running 2.8 seconds ahead now of Avalon Shadow. So very differing strategies across the racetrack. VRC going out early doors on those soft tyres. And why is Homesick pitting so early on the mediums? Surprising choice there. He's on the medium tyres. He could have continued running for a lot longer. I'm wondering if this is a sort of undercut strategy that he's employing since he had, and he's fallen foul of the dreaded pit entry penalty, and that is a killer penalty, and it's not in a great place. I mean, no penalty line's in a great place. It's a penalty line, for Christ's sake. It's supposed to be a penalty, but in terms of how harmful it is, this one is up there with the one at Spa and the one at Interlagos, or the Interlagos one is properly ridiculous. I mean, the one at Sarth isn't great, but it's I think the one at Interlagos is probably the worst one, because you are at a 160, 170k when you hit that penalty line, and you just get swallowed up there. So all change. We've got Kevin out in the lead, half a second clear of Stormfly. They are now 16 seconds clear of Avalon Shadow running in third. No one in the top 3, top 4, top 5 has pitted yet. PM10 Racing just tucked under the wing of Avalon Shadow, using that slipstream. Is he able to make a move here? No team orders. These guys are free to race each other as long as they don't start putting each other in the walls. Wiggy running in 5th. He is 5.8 seconds back from PM10. He's on those softs. He's dragged those softs out till lap 7. Is he going to go one more and take them to lap 8? Certainly looks like he is. So one more lap for Wiggy on those soft tyres. 11 seconds back to Racer Brown. He has pitted from 3rd, but everyone in front of him still has to pit. So that's going to put him in quite a good position, because it is a relatively long pit here. And of course, the people staying out longer will have to put more fuel on board. Phil running in 7th. Has yet to pit. He's also on those medium tyres. Pit window will open probably around lap 10 or 11 for him. Yellow Sausages has moved up the order after those pits. Good evening, Nick. How you doing, buddy? He is also on those medium tyres, so I'm just chilling out in my squeaky chair. Side by side with Phil, they're having a bit of a battle. Phil goes through, doesn't make it stick though, because Yellow Sausages has that inside line. Is Noxie going to make a move on Phil? At the moment, Noxie couldn't find a way through, but takes a very different line there, and side by side with Phil, little bit of rubbing his racing. Noxie following Yellow Sausages slipstream through. That's a really, really smart overtake. He's taken a different line there, picked up the slipstream at the back of Yellow Sausages and used it to get past Phil. Now the next one up the road, that's Skyjacker. He has just pit. He is now chasing down after Phil. Is he able to make a move here? At the moment we've got Yellow Sausages, then Noxie, then Phil. Is Yellow Sausages able to hold off Noxie? They're going to be in a bit of a charge. They've been in the pits, whereas the Black Flag guys are all sort of hanging out there for as long as they can in this first stint. And Skyjacker pulls out, looks up the inside, the door left open. He says thank you very much, and through he goes. But Phil with a slightly better exit from the corner, and Phil lives to fight another day. But Skyjacker is now in that slipstream, going through that penalty line. He's on the power. Is he able to close up the Porsche coming up the hill here? Just the AMG's got a lot of grunt, but it just doesn't seem to be able to keep up with the power of that Porsche. And he loses it a little bit coming through the chicane. The gap opening up, and Phil can breathe a sigh of relief. It's only a few minutes in, mate. It's running on lap 8. We've got loads of racing still to go. There is Big Dad back in 11 places. Wiggy is the first of the Black Flag guys to go into the pits. So Big Dad running in 10th place. He was the reason for the delay. We don't hold it against him. He is currently 1.1 seconds behind Skyjacker as they chase down Phil to the best of their ability. The AMG just didn't seem to have the poke with the slipstream there. Although we don't know what they're doing in terms of fuel saving, etc. We're not in the car with them. How you doing, Nick? Barry running in 11th place. He has been in the pits. He's now on those medium tyres. Homesick pulling a move on him, so he's no longer in 11th. He's in 12th. Homesick goes through up to 11th place. Coycart running in 13th. He's 3.8 seconds ahead of Wiggy. Wiggy, of course, has just come out of the pits from the soft tyres. He got those soft tyres to the end of lap 8. Really good running on those. So, out in front, what's changed? Well, nothing. It's still half a second between Kevin, the fastest man on the track, with a 56.3. As we come around to complete lap 9, Stormfly, they are 19 seconds clear of Avalon Shadow. Now, bear in mind, all of these guys still have to pit. They have to have their first pit stop. They've still got another compound of tyres to run. We're looking at the tyres there. I'm thinking pit window, and looking at the fuel as well. Pit window is going to be probably lap 11 or 12 as the fuel starts to drain down, although Kevin looks to be able to take it maybe a little bit longer, maybe to 13 or 14. In terms of lap times, high to low 56 to low 57s. That's a pretty steady race pace out front. Stormfly very, very similar in terms of pace. They are matching each other pace for pace at the moment. There's no love lost between these two. We know that these two love to race each other, and at the moment, more often than not, it's been one or the other of these two winning the races. So don't let the fact that they're going in procession fool you. At some stage, they will turn their racing heads on against each other. There is Avalon 20 seconds back. He's got PM10 just 1 second behind him. He's done a really good job with that fuel. It's almost as though he keeps topping it up from that car. He's got quite a bit there. PM10, actually, to be fair, PM10's not doing all right as well. So really, really good job. A really good job. Really good job in fuel saving. Looking after the fuel, looking after the tyres. There is the lead VRC Racer Brown. He's looking very, very solid in terms of race performance, and putting in actually faster times than the guys out front. As Homesick puts in a phenomenally quick lap. Now Homesick is on. Oh, he's on the soft tyres. I thought he was on the medium tyres. But a 56.1, that's phenomenal as he moves up to 7th place ahead of Skyjacker. 4.6 behind Noxie. But with pace like that, it will not be long before he is knocking on Noxie's door and saying, "Move the hell over, sunshine. I'm coming through." Skyjacker with a half-second penalty just behind Homesick. He's got Yellow Sausages bearing down on him. Yellow Sausages with another couple of laps also to run before he hits those pits. There is Big Dan. He is only 3/10 behind Yellow Sausages. Much more tyre to call upon, much more fuel to call upon. Is he able to make a move? He's certainly tucked in there. I'm certainly able to make a move. He's really tight actually behind him. And he's got a bit of a straight here. If he can get it without just a little bump, certainly look to be. But no harm done as he carries on up the road. But that does mean it's beautiful, isn't it? And to be fair, I think both of them are really, really cool. Why is it, Nick? Right, and I'm gonna ask the question: is every time you're in my chat, I end up getting adult dating site thingies pop up. Have you been looking at funny sites before you come on YouTube, mate? Because last time you were in my room chatting away, we had someone offering sexy fun times through the chat as well. So I'd rather you didn't share your sexy fun time links through our chat, please, buddy. That is something best kept for a darkened room later. So let's have let's go for the back actually. There is Phil, just come out of the pits. He's done his first pit stop. 36 seconds back from Wiggy. Wiggy has also pit. He's 1.5 seconds behind Koi Carp at the moment, running on those medium tyres. Koi Carp also on the mediums. He's going to run quite long this time. As Stormfly heads into the pits for his stop, Kevin looks to stay out, so he's going to try and open up a bit of a gap. It'll be interesting to see what the difference in the gap is when he comes back out. Barry running in 11th place. Yeah, if you could do that's great, thanks, mate. You're not supposed to also note down the web address though when you report them. You pay. How much do you pay for them? Barry running 1 second behind Big Dan. Yeah, I didn't know that, mate. I say Big Dan. He's behind Yellow Sausages now because Yellow Sausages goes into the pits. Then Barry will be behind Big Dan once again. So he's running 1.1 seconds behind. PM10 also in the pits now. So it's all changed. We're going to start to see the early VRC stoppers all moving up the order. And it certainly looks that way. So Kevin has stayed out. Avalon has stayed out to lap 12. Is Kevin going to run one further beyond this? And I think Avalon's definitely going to come in here. Then we've got Racer Brown up into third place after his 30 early pit stop. 10 seconds back, but remember the two in front both have to pit. Now, this is interesting because it looks to me, the gap's 35 seconds. It looks to me like he might be able to nick second place here because he's ahead of Stormfly. So he's already undercut Stormfly, who, if I'm in the DP, he's just behind him in Stormfly, but he's got to pass him. You know, it's one thing to catch, it's another thing to pass. And Racer Brown's got a very, very good place. Very good. I'm sure he's got a very good place, but he's certainly got very good pace as well. So Kevin does duck into the pits. Does Avalon follow him in? Does Avalon carry on for another lap? I think Avalon's going to follow him in. That might see Racer Brown take the lead of this race. So here we go. He heads up the hill towards the chicane. Kevin in the pits currently. Avalon just coming into the pits now. So he's going to take second place in this race. At least second place. Bit of a wobble coming out of the chicane there. So he rounds the final bend. And the BMW power sign says to you, it's time for another lap. They come round lap 12. He's going to go under the bridge. Where's Kevin? He's through to second. Kevin does stay out. He's just coming out now. But Racer Brown is coming down that straight at a rate of knots. Kevin does get to turn 1 first. Just ahead, only 1.2 seconds. So that undercut, very, very strong. Very, very clever strategy. Stormfly is right behind Racer Brown, but can't find a way around him. Racer Brown doing a brilliant job of defending every single line. Stormfly looking up the inside, but Racer Brown's going to have the inside line here and maintain second place. The battle is on. Racer Brown chasing down Kevin, holding off Stormfly. Stormfly is side by side. They'll turn in. He'll have to concede again. Racer Brown just defending constantly from Stormfly. Is he able to do anything to get past at this stage? But it looks to me that Racer Brown is doing a phenomenal job at defending that position and not leaving the door open. Now the problem is this going to be quite arduous on tyre and fuel, doing all of this defending. But likewise, is it going to be arduous on the tyre and fuel, doing all of this chasing? Does this mess with their strategies a little bit, having to battle so hard at this stage? And this is the sort of battle you would expect to see towards the tail end of the race, as we're just nearing the halfway point of the race. Remember, it's going to be about 30 laps here. It's a 60-minute endurance race. We've already seen everybody now, I think. Everybody has been in the pits. Now, Kevin is leading this race by 1.5 seconds. There is Racer Brown. Jumps Stormfly with an early pit stop. Really clever undercut. Currently holding him off in second place. Stormfly rounds that final turn. Tucked under the back wing of that AMG GT3. Is there a way in ahead of him by the turn 1? I don't think Racer Brown's going to give up anything here. He's trying to close down that gap on Kevin, and at the moment fastest man on the track is Homesick with a 56.1. So there's Big Dan in again, Barry in again. Really took something out of tyres then. Also Koi Carp going in. So very, very different shape. It's very difficult to work out where people are on the racetrack when they're pitting as they are. Homesick, his tyres looking ropey. He's got a long, long way to go before he reaches the pits on those tyres. Did he forget to go in? or does he think he can actually hold those tyres on? Because there is so little. If you took that little rubber to an orgy, someone would be pregnant. That's all I'm saying. So that will affect his lap times if he can't get that, or if he can't get it home, or he can't get that car rotated because there's no grip. There's going to be big parts of metal all over this racetrack. Let's stay with Homesick and see if we can get it home. He does have the fastest lap, 1:56.1. That's a phenomenal lap time, particularly at race pace. Phenomenal lap time. I think that's going to be one. It's going to be a hard time to beat at racing pace. To be fair, because you're not obviously it's not qualifying pace; it's racing pace. You've got lots of other factors to consider. But here he comes. He's almost home on those non-existent tyres. He's left all the rubber behind on the racetrack, and he's just bringing some rims back. He does pull into the pits. He makes it. He hasn't died, and we're very, very pleased about that. So Kevin in the lead. The gap is 1.3 seconds from Racer Brown. Is it from Racer Brown? Stormfly dives up the inside, makes the move up into second. Racer Brown leaving the door open, and Stormfly says, "I'm coming in," like a bailiff would. Straight through the door, starts loading the stuff into his van, and off he goes. So Racer Brown relegated to third. He's going to pit at the end of this lap because the fuel is not holding out for him. Noxie running comfortably in fourth at the moment, 6 seconds back from the top three, but 22 seconds clear of Avalon. Avalon, who held that car out for like a million laps. Well, I say a million, it's like 12. He's under a bit of pressure from Wiggy at the moment. He's running the mediums again. Now, he will have to use a soft tyre compound at some stage in this race. So he's obviously going to use that in the last stint. I know, do you know what, Nick, it's very, very impressive that Homesick got that car home with the tyres back, particularly the AMG. Very, very impressive. So Wiggy running in 6th place, 6 tenths back from Avalon. He's on the medium tyres. He did pit quite a bit earlier than Avalon. He is very steady, though. Steady 58, late 58, early 59. Oh, excuse me, big yawn coming from nowhere. I haven't done anything today. I don't know why I'm yawning. I even woke up late. PM10. He is 1.1 second back from that battle between Wiggy and Avalon at the moment. The strategy, he'll stay out a bit longer than Wiggy in front, so that will give him a position there. Now, 14 seconds back from him is the tyre-saving monster that is Homesick. There is Racer Brown into the pits. So Stormfly, did Stormfly get overtaken by him at some stage? Don't know. That's the question. So Homesick is out. Now he's on the racing soft tyres again. Is he going to do another crazy lap? Stormfly, I say this lap is going to be hard to beat. And then Stormfly goes and does a 1:55.9. That's qualifying pace in a race. It's insane. Check that guy for racing driver blood, please. 2.2 seconds back from Homesick is Big Dan the Man. And he is 3.7 seconds clear of Skyjacker at the moment. Skyjacker running well there in 10th. The thing is, if you look at the pace actually is very similar between everybody. Big Dan, fastest lap of the race, a 1:55.8. So they're starting to ramp up the pace. VRC have got some pace to show, and it's starting to come out. So the strategies are really masking the positioning on the track. Other than, I would say, the front three of Kevin, Stormfly, and Racer Brown, I think it's very difficult to place where the others fall in the racing because the strategies are not aligned yet. I think once everybody's been in for their last stop, it'll be much easier to see. So we're on lap 16 of this race. And I'll tell you what, at the current pace, I wouldn't be surprised if we make it past 30 laps to 31 or even maybe 32. The pace is phenomenal. Skyjacker running in 10th place. There is Barry running in 11th. 1.8 seconds clear of Koi Carp. He is 3.3 up from Yellow Sausages, who is 27 seconds ahead of Phil, who is just putting in his best sector, running on those medium tyres at the moment. No, it's not, especially at pace. The sort of pace you've got around here, you have to leave the door open to let someone through. Excuse me, yawning all over you. So Kevin has opened the gap up to 1.6 seconds from Stormfly. At the moment, 34 seconds back to Avalon. Avalon, remember, kept that car out for 13 laps, 12 laps. And has just lost out to PM10 Racing, who then goes wide, and Avalon back through into third place. So does that bring Wiggy into the fight here with PM10 Racing? So all change up front at the moment with the change in strategies that now has, where we had a big train from third all the way back to 8th VRC, we now have a big train of Black Flag from Kevin in first to Wiggy in 5th, and then the VRC train begins just behind Wiggy and looking at making a move on him, and certainly with the pace he's got, I wouldn't be surprised if he does pull out that move soon. Tucked under the wing of that 911, looking for any way through. Looks round the outside here, here's the little flip-flap thingy, undercutty thingy. We do the old switcheroo. He was certainly looking at that, didn't make it work that time, but looking very racy and using as much slipstream as he has to pull through, and he pulls out there, makes a move up the inside. That is a great overtake. Can he make it stick? Absolutely can. But Wiggy not giving it up yet. Wiggy, they're side by side. Wiggy maintains inside line on the right-hander and back into 5th place. They are having it here today at the Nurnburgring GP. Racer Brown trying to pull out that slipstream, trying to make a move. Is he going to go round the outside here into the chicane? It's not the chicane there. Oh, yes, it is there. And he does. He makes the move there and actually makes that move look relatively easy. So good move there into the chicane. Not a place I would like to try and attempt an overtake, but that's because I'm shit. So now, opening up a gap already, 1.1 seconds. He was looking very, very quick, was Racer Brown. Homesick with the fastest lap of the race now, ramping it up. That's a 1:55.2. The pace is getting faster and faster as we hit this midpoint. There is Homesick, fastest man on the racetrack right now. Has put in a 55.2. Followed that up with another 55.2. Very, very quick. And he's on the soft tyres, of course, which is why he's putting in those times. How long before he's on the back of Wiggy and knocking on the Wiggy door? Let me in, let me in. And there behind him, 2.2 seconds, is Noxie. He's running the medium tyres, and at the current pace of Homesick, he's going to struggle to keep up with him. I think Homesick is going to be opening up that gap. Another 2.6 back to Big Dan, who did have the fastest lap at 55.8 until Homesick decided to smash it twice. Skyjacker, 4.8 seconds behind Dan. Running well there, though, and not under any pressure, really, from Barry. Barry is 1.4 back. 3.2 ahead of Koi Carp. Now he's on the soft tyres. Is he going to go for a big push onto the back of Skyjacker? Can he make that big push onto the back of Skyjacker? Koi Carp running in 12th place, 3 seconds back from Barry. He's 5.5 clear at the moment of Yellow Sausages. Chris not getting this 911 dialed in at the moment. But it will come. If you build it, it will come. He is 31 seconds clear of Phil, who is steadily doing 2-minute laps. But you've got to stay in it. You never know what might happen. Certainly can go to places when they pit for the second or third time, depending on who they are. Back to the leader of the race there. The gap is 1.5 seconds from Stormfly. Look at the grouping of that time. 57.0, 57.2, 57.3, 57.0, 57.0. Very, very consistent. even before. It's consistent with the lap times before the pit window as well. Very, very cool. And I do want to thank this guy actually for the very nice livery on these 911s, because I did one and it was nowhere fucking near as nice as this. So thank you very much for that, Mr. Livery. Stormfly in second at the moment, at 1.5 back from Kevin. 36 and a half seconds up from anyone else in the front too. Really starting to pull away. He is 36 seconds up from PM10. PM10 has found his way around Avalon. Is he going to start to ramp up the pressure? Now remember, PM10 is our reigning, or kind of our reigning, GR4 champion. Was it GR3? I can't remember. That's one of the two. Either GR4 or GR3. He's a champion of one of those things. And a massive bit of lag coming through from the lobby now. I don't know what happened there. But he is currently running in third. He is a second up from Avalon, who is 2.3 seconds clear of Racer Brown. Now, by the time these guys pit, that'll put Racer Brown back in the top 3, I think. Now, he has run both compounds. And another big bit of lag there with Racer Brown just juddering across the racetrack there. Homesick 2.1 seconds back from Racer Brown, and with some very, very good pace. He's low 55s, low 56s. That is very, very solid. How you doing, Fizz Ruckus? Good to see you, buddy. We'll see you on Sunday at the Lithuanian GR3. It's really hotting up there at the minute, and I think Wendigo is starting to get a little bit worried about the charge of Simonis for his for the championship. I think you're right, Chris. I think the Black Flag can keep the top 4, but these two guys, I think that they need to worry about. Racer Brown and Homesick are looking very, very quick at the moment, and their early pace was not indicative of their actual pace. They're really starting to ramp up and find a comfortable position within this racetrack now. You've got to bear in mind that PM10, Avalon, Stormfly, Kevin, they've all got to pit again. And I know that the VRC boys also do need to, but I think it's key about when. It seems the undercut here is very, very strong. We saw Racer Brown do it and gain, not just gain a position, but gain several seconds in this. When you say GR4, he was answering my question about what champion PM10 was, because I couldn't remember whether it was GR3 or GR4, and then he was responding to your question about predictions. See, streamer, broadcaster, translator. Yeah, love Monza. Fizz, it's my favourite. It's my favourite race. Well, one of my favourite racetracks is Monza, but I certainly love. I love Parabolica. It's my favourite corner in all of racing. So, we spent a lot of time watching Racer Brown. Let's go and have a look at the guys running at the back of the pack. There's Phil's 50 seconds back. He has just done his another pit stop, so he will be running now. I think he has run both compounds. I'm sure he has. He will run pretty close to the end of this race, I think, if not to the end. He's 50 seconds back from Koikart. Koikart comes out on those soft tyres, so he will need to pit again, as Wiggy just jumps into the pits now. So yeah, he will definitely need to pit again. Barry is also on the soft tyres. He will need to pit again. He's 2.2 ahead of Koikart right now, 43 behind Wiggy, who is just coming out of the pits. So can Wiggy run this? He has already run the soft compound tyres. I think he can run this to, yeah, he can. He can run this to the end. So Wiggy is going to run to the end from that position. Big Dan. There he is in 10th place. He's on the soft tyres. He's going to have to pit again, I think. Yellow Sausage is running the mediums. He's got one more pit stop to do. If he can hang that out for another 4 or 5 laps, he can then switch to the softs for a final stint. Stormfly into the pits from second. Skyjacker running in 8th, 18 seconds up the road. 7.8 behind Noxie. He will need to pit on those mediums at some point in the next probably just say 3 or 4 laps. Looking at the fuel, he can pit now if he wants to, but I think it'll be 3 or 4 laps before we see him come in. Noxie, touch and go with it. Look, if he does what Avalon, oh no, he can't. I've just looked at his fuel. He can't. He's going to have to run these mediums, run down that fuel, and I think he'll stick some softs on for a quick stint. I actually think this is what's going to happen. Is I think that we're going to see a lot of the VRC guys are going to jump in late on, put on some soft tyres, and are going to be really, really troubling for everybody around them. Excuse me. There's Homesick, still with that 55.2 fastest up in the race. And again, this guy can get so much out of tyres with no rubber left. It's nuts. Absolute nuts. You just see him going around to lap Phil. And so on Noxie there. Now, I don't know if that was lag or that was some big slidey action. It looked to me that he was going wibbly wobbly. The arse end of that AMG going for a little twerk. But he gets it back under control. But Homesick, with those tyres, I mean, seriously, shake that man's hand. He can look after tyres. Racer Brown running 5th on the racetrack, 4.4 seconds up the road. He's got 1.9 to make up on Avalon ahead. Now, he will need to pit again. Again, probably around that 23, 24, I think. Avalon Shadow. Now, he will also need to pit again, and he will do that, I think, also on lap 24. And he's picked up a half-second penalty. That will allow Racer Brown to close up on him. 9 seconds to Stormfly. He comes out on the racing soft tyres. Now, I don't know if you can take those to the... I think it depends how aggressive he is. Full-on aggression, and he's taking these tyres to about 4 or 5 laps and then changing them again. If he's calm, he may just hang these out to the end of the race. There's Kevin on the medium tyres again. So he will need to pit one more time and put on some softs. Yeah, he should be sponsored by a condom company. Because he makes the rubber last. that's a slogan right there. Durex, they make the rubber last. Homesick condoms. The rubber just goes on forever. There you go, mate. If you make a bit of money off of it, remember where you got your slogan from, buddy. He's just putting some more tyres on and leaving the rims on the floor. So that'll be his final stop. Be interested to see just how quick he is in that final stint. So Kevin out in the lead, 29 seconds. He's got over Stormfly. Stormfly himself 11 seconds up the road from Avalon. With a half-second penalty for Avalon to serve. And Racer Brown closing that gap. He's got it down. I say he got it down to 1.2, but he hasn't. It's 1.3. It did go out to 1.5. I love the way it's quite dynamic. It's one thing I do like about that is the dynamic counter rather than just every kind of sector. I do quite like that. So there we go. Avalon's going to slow down. That's going to see Racer Brown. Is he close enough to make this move? Not quite, but the penalty isn't being served yet. He needs to just close that gap a little bit because that's a brutal place to serve a penalty. So Avalon serves that penalty. He pulls off the racing line because he knows that Racer Brown's coming through. Is there going to be enough racetrack before the chicane? Is he going to pull off a move into the chicane? Avalon just gets up to speed in time and lives, but the gap is way down now. And Racer Brown eyeing a place in the top 3, which he will take as Avalon peels off into the... Oh, big mistake from Avalon. Big mistake. He pulled into the pits and just lost control and hit the wall as he comes in. That's a big loss for Avalon there. Now the question is, was he changing his mind about the pit stop and then going to stay out? In which case he would have got a penalty anyway. Or did he just lose control at the top there and hit the wall? So that's going to cost him. Racer Brown moves into the top 3 again on this race here at the Nurnburgring GP. As it's just started to ramp up now as we go into the last 15 minutes of the race. We've got about 6 or 7 laps to go. Leader currently Kevin, 77. 27 seconds clear of Stormfly. He's got 1 pit stop to go as he just comes up behind Yellow Sausages in 13th. Stormfly is on soft tyres, and I think he's going to, I was going to say, is he bravely going to take these to the end? And then he chucks in a 154.9. So his intention is not to save any rubber. It is just to burn as much of it off, and if he has to go again, so be it. But will that cost him? Because maybe not, because Racer Brown is going to come round now and we'll see him go into the pits at the end of this lap. So Kevin goes in on the medium tyres. He's going to switch to the softs for the last 6 or so laps of this race. Stormfly in second. He will take the lead of this race, but for how long? Can he hold those tyres out for that length of time? The soft tyres just do not seem to last that long. So he comes through, will take the lead of the race, but I think he might have to splash and dash at some stage. There is Kevin coming out in second, 2.5 behind. He is on fire, isn't he? He is absolutely on fire. I do understand the reference because I know that he's Greek and he drives like a god, and I know who Jesus is. Thank you anyway for explaining it. Thanks for mansplaining me, man. Thanks for mansplaining me. Stormfly in the lead, 2.6 seconds. 44 seconds back to Racer Brown, who's in the pits. Noxie also in the pits, 9 seconds back. I've got Bandit. I've got no doubt that Racer Brown is about to turn this shit on. He has been scarily quick. And I imagine that Stormfly and Kevin are keeping their eye in their mirror. So 46 seconds as a gap. Let's see what he's got in this final stint. I genuinely think that if he doesn't catch him, that will be a much smaller gap by the end of this race. Big Dan running in 4th place. He's got to pit again with those soft tyres. Imagine that will probably be this or next lap. What about tyre hating Homesick? He rubs those down until all the rubber's gone. Doesn't like to take anything back. This man doesn't recycle, he reuses again and again and again. He is running in 5th. He's on soft tyres. We know that he can take soft tyres for about 150 laps. He will pick up all the marbles and stick them back on just to keep those tyres going. Running in 5th place, tucked under the wing of Big Dan. And in a minute, he's going to say, thank you very much, Dan. I'm moving up one. They've got PM10 just behind them. PM10 now on those soft tyres, so he does need to get a move on because PM10's going to want to close up on the back. Yeah, I think it's game on now. I think it's going to start ramping up, and I think we're going to start seeing a lot of fastest laps jumping in and out. There's a big lag there comes up on my screen for PM10. Screw you, PD, and your shitty server ideas. Well, I can't configure what I'm looking for then. Your shitty server coding. But it is what it is. So PM10 tucked behind Homesick. They're both past Big Dan. We've got a bit of a race on here. So the racing on the racetrack is not with the top 3 just now. Racer Brown chasing down Stormfly and Kevin. Homesick chasing down Racer. Was that someone off the track then? Don't know. Homesick is being chased down by PM10. Now Homesick has done a 55 to his fastest lap. Just put in a 55.6. PM10 does a 56.2, so he is a little bit faster. Can he ramp up the pace? Did either of them ramp up the pace? Only 2.8 seconds to Racer Brown, who did a... It was out that, wasn't it? So we'll have a look in a minute what his pace is like. Let's have a little look further back. Avalon's now on those soft tyres, 5.6 seconds back from PM10 Racing. He is 2.7 ahead of Noxie. Foxy Noxie. I don't actually know he is. Do you know what, Bandit, right? You say he's the tyre alien. I think we've got a couple of guys here that really look after the tyres, but I've genuinely never seen anything like it. Is that his tyres were gone. There was no rubber left on those tyres, and he was driving it like he'd just put fresh slicks on. It's ridiculous. So cool. And because of that, that's why he's now in 4th place. And he's quick with it as well. It's ridiculous. So Kevin goes back into lead as Stormfly goes into the pits. This is going to be interesting. Where's Racer Brown in comparison? It's 50 seconds at the moment, that gap, as Kevin puts in a 1:54.2. Talk about ramping it up. He just does. Straight away ramps it up. Where does Stormfly come out? So Racer Brown just coming up towards the chicane. Stormfly in the pits at the moment. We've got Homesick not closing up on Racer Brown. It's 3.6 seconds the gap's opened up to. And PM10 Racing is sticking with Homesick. So Stormfly is back out. It's 26 seconds behind Kevin. The gap to Racer Brown, it still says 50 odd seconds, 32 seconds. There we go. That's a more realistic time. So it's still got a lot of work. 24 seconds, 23 seconds, 22 seconds. Coming down a bit there. So Racer Brown knows what he's got to do. He's essentially got 8 minutes. So 4 laps to go. Get 22 seconds, or at least close it down. He's put in a 1:55.4 in his last lap. Stormfly has done a 54.9. Can PM10 find any way around Homesick? He's certainly looking for a way through, but Homesick was not going to just leave the door open. Yeah, we've got a ridiculously large number of Dutch people for an English-based team. To be fair, it's like they're kind of following us English people around. Because yeah, we've got Stormfly there. We've got Nick here in the chat. We've got TJ, our glorious sponsor, who's not racing with us tonight. Yeah, far too many Dutch people. We have to do something about that. I'm joking, of course. I'm joking. Brexit means Brexit. I'm joking. Avalon Shadow, 5.3 seconds back from that battle between Homesick and PM10 Racing. He's got 4.1 seconds ahead of Noxie. Noxie's on slightly fresher tyres with slightly more fuel. So can he push his lap times? 56.7 was his last lap. Avalon with a 55.8. So he's got a lot of work to do to catch it up. Wiggy running 6.2 behind. He's on the medium side, but he's running to the end of this race now on those mediums. Will that put him in the clutches of Skyjacker? He's lapping around the mid 57s. He's only 7.6 seconds clear. Skyjacker just coming round to lap Phil. Just put in a 1:55.7. His fastest lap of the race. He's on the soft tyres and looking quick. I think Wiggy will be looking in his mirrors very soon. Big Dan, he is 10 seconds behind Skyjacker. He's 6.7 seconds, 6.9 seconds ahead of Yellow Sausages. Quite a poor lap the last lap. Oh, no, this was his out lap, that's why. Or that was his out lap, should I say. This was his first hot lap since he last pit. He's also on those racing soft tyres. So is Yellow Sausages, but he's got to take them to the end and hope they hang on. So I'm just looking at where PM10, you think he can gain 2 here? I don't know, Racer Brown's pretty quick. He's got to get around Homesick at the moment, and Homesick is doing such a good job of keeping him behind. I don't know at the moment where Paul's going to find a way through. Unless Homesick makes a mistake, but those tyres are looking a bit ropey now, and we know he can make those tyres hang on, but Christ on a bike, how's he going to keep PM10 away from him while nursing tyres? But we've seen it. I've seen with my own eyes. His tyres have no rubber, and him still putting a comparable lap time. PM10 Racing making a move up the inside. Doesn't make the move stick. Has to drop back in behind. Homesick doing everything to keep the AMG ahead of the Porsche. And PM10 tucking under that back wing, having another go, both in the braking zone. So much trust. You've got to trust the guy behind. He's not just going to absolutely melt you straight into the wall. So brilliant racing for the pair of them there. And they go again. What's the gap now? Racer Brown put the gap down to 24 seconds. Kevin with the fastest lap. He's done a 1:53.8. That's just taking the piss. 1:53.8. I think my best lap round here in the 911 was like a 1:58.5 or something. Ridiculous. And that was like no fuel, soft tyres, optimum conditions. It's ridiculous, that's what it is. So PM10 Racing on the inside this time. Still hasn't got quite the pace to make it. Is he hoping Home 6 tyres give out? He won't know that Home 6 got hardly any rubber left. All he'll know is that they've got 2 more laps of this. They're side by side as they come down. Home 6 got the inside line, maintains 4th place. PM10 stays in round the outside, gets the inside line here. He makes the overtake. Can he make it stick? Absolutely. PM10 up into 4th place. He is ahead of Home 6. Can he now pull out a gap? So this is the running order. Kevin, 26 seconds in the lead. Just coming up to lap Barry. He is 26 seconds ahead of Stormfly for Black Flag running in 2nd. Racer Brown for VRC running in 3rd place. PM10 now up into 4th. 5 seconds back. Homesick not giving this up. Homesick absolutely wants this. Can Paul... Look, I'm not convinced that the PM10 can close on Racer Brown. So there's still 2 laps left. Racer Brown's no slouch. He's done a 54.7 as well, Racer Brown. I think this is going to be the top 4 unless someone has a crash and dies. Avalon Shadow running in 6th. Quite a lot of work to do if he wants to catch Homesick. In terms of lap times, he's a little bit slower at this stage. So I think he might be holding on there. Fastest lap Apollo, yeah. 53.8 he's done, yeah. Noxie running in 7th. 3 seconds back from Avalon Shadow. 10 seconds ahead of Wiggy. Wiggy running to the end on those mediums. He's done a long stint on those mediums to the end of this race. 5 seconds further back to Skyjacker. Can he hold those tyres on? We're just coming round to start lap 30. So there's one more lap for him. So they should just hold out. Who's going to get to do 31 laps? Anybody? Well, certainly... I think Kevin will. Kevin will get to do 31 laps. As will Stormfly, possibly. What about Racer Brown? Are these 3 going to be the only 3 for doing a 31st lap? Looking at PM10, I think he's too far back to cross that line beforehand. So I think we're going to see PM10 finish the race in 4th on this lap. Let's watch where's Racer Brown? He's there actually. He might not make it either. So here goes Kevin. He's on lap 31. He made it. Stormfly just coming round the final corner there. Will he make lap 31? Yes, he will. He's got enough fuel. He's got enough tyres. Nothing to worry about. Racer Brown, a little bit too far back. He's going to finish this race in 3rd place. So whatever charge he had on is just not enough because he's going to find himself coming home in 3rd. But a great racing from VRC. All of them put in an absolute shift and really pushed every single one of us to the limits. But here he comes round the final bend. The timer is up. And it's not the timer plus 1 lap. It's the timer plus cross the line. And here we go. It is his final lap. He crossed the line in 3rd. 3rd place for Racer Brown. 4th for PM10. Avalon Shadow takes Homesick. He finishes in 5th. Great move there. Homesick home in 6th. There is Noxie home in 7th. All finishing very close. So Homesick tyres just gave out on him. Wiggy will come home in 8th place. Here he goes coming across the line. Wiggy in 8th. Skyjacker, he will come home in 9th, just 5 seconds further back. Big Dan, 13 seconds back, will come home in 10th place. Eventually, he'll come home in 10th place. Here he goes, crossing the line in 10th. Yellow Sausages, 17 seconds. But where's these two? We can't miss the first two. Crossing the line, there we go. Koi Cups are in 13th. So we'll see him cross first, I think. So Yellow Sausages, here he comes home. 11th place. He's got Barry making a move on him right on the line. Can he make it happen? just through. Yellow Sausages by 1/10 makes it through. So here we go. Kevin 77, 3.1 seconds. He is clear of Stormfly, and they're going to cross the line. He's got the fastest lap. He has got the win of this race. Here he goes. Kevin and Stormfly side by side. They're coming to cross the line. And there we go. Kevin wins. Stormfly second. They finished within 3/10 of each other, but I think they were doing a little bit of showboating at the end. So what a race that was. Absolutely fantastic racing from both teams. I've got to say, the VRC boys could drive. But for me, my driver of the day, without question, I mean, great performance from Kevin, from Stormfly, and Racer Brown for the top three. But driver of the day is Homesick. That geezer can do shit with tyres I didn't think was possible. He can do qualifying speed laps on rims. It's nuts. Absolute nuts. But there we go. We're at the end of the race. We're all finished. We're done. We're dusted. That's race number 1 done. We are back next week. And this time we are in the same cars. We are in the same endurance racing format. But we're going to the United States for Laguna Seca. Brilliant event this time out. It's going to be brilliant again next time out. Absolutely loved it. So, not much more for me to say other than thank you for joining us this evening. I hope you found it entertaining. I certainly did. If you didn't, oh well. It is what it is. But I've been Urban Pirate. This has been Black Flag Racing TV. Watching Black Flag Racing Team versus the Virtual Racers Club at the Nurnburgring GP, and it's been awesome. Thank you very much, and we will catch up with you again here on Black Flag TV tomorrow for the Team Showdown with ART.